This video will show you how to complete a payroll time card. Here are some of the key terms that we discussed during class. Salary, pay period, payroll, total earnings, which is also the same as gross pay. A few other terms that we discussed in class that you will recognize as we are going through how to complete the time card will be what the regular pay rate is, the regular hours worked per week, how you calculate overtime. So just a few additional key terms that you'll want to pay attention to while going through this video. So the first thing I would like us to do is look at the payroll time card and analyze it, see what type of information you will find on a time card. So the basic source of keeping information to prepare a payroll is having your employees complete a time card. As you can see on the top, it has the employee information. This might vary depending on the company, what they have up here. It has the week ending. So as you can see, this period is for 1 week. And it also has their hourly rate, so what they are paid per hour. Then on the bottom half, you will see it shows for each day what time they came in and what time they left. As well as information that we will be calculating as how many hours they worked per day, along with how much they were paid overall. So when you are calculating how many hours an employee worked per week, a couple of things that we want you to assume. We are going to assume that they took a 30-minute unpaid lunch period if they worked more than 5 hours. We're also going to assume that they are not docked hours or given additional hours if they clocked in 6 minutes or less early or 6 minutes or less late. And a regular work day for this person is going to be from 8 a.m. to 4:30. So let's talk about how you calculate how many hours they worked for the day. So we're going to go through Monday together. So since assumption number 2 says that they're not docked hours or given additional hours because of the plus or minus 6 minutes, we're going to look at this and we're kind of just going to round this to 8 a.m. and round this to 4:30. So that's the time they were out. So we have to also consider that they did take a 30-minute unpaid lunch break. So this is how I would calculate this. We also discussed a few ways in class today, so you can use one of those different ways as well. So for Monday, I look at it as they worked from 8 a.m. until noon, because that's easy for me to figure out that that is 8 hours, so that is 4 hours. And then if they did work noon to 4:30, that is 4.5 hours. So that's a total of 8.5. However, because they worked over 8 hours, we are assuming they had 30 minutes or 0.5 hours of lunch. So on Monday, they worked 8 hours. So we would put 8 hours. Why don't you pause the video and calculate how many hours they worked on Tuesday. Okay, hopefully you paused the video and now you will see that they worked 8 hours, so very similar to Monday. Let's do Wednesday together. So Wednesday, we will look at this as they worked, came in at 8 o'clock, 8 a.m., and left at 5 because of the assumption number 2. So this is how I would calculate Wednesday, very similar to what I did on Monday. So Wednesday, they came in at 8. So 8 to noon is 4 hours of work. And then if we look at noon to 5, being 5 hours work, that's a total of 9 hours that they worked that day. However, again, we have to consider the 30-minute lunch break that's unpaid because they worked over 5 hours. And so that is going to be then 8.5 hours that they worked on Wednesday. So you'd put 8.5. Now, I would recommend that you pause the video and try to do calculations for numbers of hours worked on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday on your own. Hopefully you figured Thursday, Friday, and Saturday out on your own, but let's go through them quickly. So 8 to 6, so that would be 10 hours minus a 30-minute lunch period, so that would be 9.5 hours. 8 to 5:30, that would be 9.5 hours, but again, the 30-minute unpaid, so that is at 9 hours of working. And then on Saturday, they came in at 9, so let me figure that out in my head. 9 to noon is 3 hours, noon to 1:30 is an hour and a half, so 4.5. They do not get the lunch break because they worked less than 5 hours. Okay, so the next step is going to be taking that information and calculating the total number of hours that they worked. So we have to take all of these numbers here, the 6 numbers here, and add them together to get their total hours that they worked that week. So adding them all up, this person worked 47.5 total hours. So we are going to put that under hours total. Now, as we discussed in class, a regular work week, so if you are an hourly employee, a regular work week is 40 hours. And that is because of the Fair Labor Standards Act law. So we'll put 40 hours in regular hours. And now to calculate their overtime hours, you simply take their total hours that they worked and subtract regular hours. So that would be total hours is 47.5 minus 40, so they have 7.5 hours of overtime. The next step will be to calculate their earnings. So we can see up at the top of the time card that their hourly rate is $7.50. So we just need to plug that into the regular rate section. There you go. And then again, as we learned in class, to calculate overtime, you need to take the employee's regular pay rate, which for this person is $7.50, and multiply it by 1.5. So for this person, you're going to take 7.5 times 1.5, which equals $11.25. So every hour they work over 40 hours, this person will get paid $11.25. So we'll plug that number in to the overtime rate section. Now we need to calculate their earnings. So the first step is to figure out their regular earnings based on their 40 hours. So you're going to take 40 hours times $7.50, which equals $300. So for their regular work week, they earned $300. And then overtime, you're going to take the hours they worked, so 7.5, times $11.25 that they earned per hour, which then is going to equal $84.375, and we want to round to the nearest penny. So we are going to round that to $84.38, and then we need to plug that into the overtime earnings. And then to get total earnings, you are going to add your regular earnings plus your overtime earnings. So this person will have made that week in their total earnings $384.38. So that is their gross pay for the week. That is how you complete an employee's time card.